Good to see you. Good to see you. I was just, as we just wait a few minutes, I was just commenting about how time is going by so quickly. We're at the end of January, and I can't believe it. So it seems like we were just starting the new year, but that's how it goes. So, but I am happy to be with those of you that are joining now, and those of you, hi, good evening, and those of you that will be watching this later, collectively, regardless of time or space, we are collectively in a community just by the fact that we are bound together by our energy, by our breath, and even by our movement in our own way. So again, happy Wednesday. I'm happy to be here. And today I just wanted to kind of talk a little bit more about what we've been talking about since we've started community care meditations. Our first Wednesday together, we talked about this sense of crossing the threshold. And this idea of leaving whatever that we had going on in 2021 entering into 2022, this idea of crossing the threshold. So that was the first Wednesday. The second Wednesday, we talked about this sense of awakening rest and what that means, and the idea of making sure that we're checking in with our heart, seeing how our heart is doing, and really allowing that to guide us this new year full of possibility or what have you. And then last Wednesday we talked about freedom and peace and what that means in terms of what freedom means to us. And this week I wanted to talk a little bit about peace a little bit more. And actually, I want to read out of a book called Peace is Every Step. And some of you may know, others may not. Thich Nhat Hanh, the Venerable Thich Nhat Hanh transitioned over the past week. And actually, I have been reading his books and following him for quite some time. And this particular book came to me in 2017, Peace is Every Step. And it's ironic because a month later, my father transitioned. And I'll tell you, this book was something that I went to in terms of trying to process that grief and work through the grief. But I want to open up in the poem that is here that he authored, that he penned. And it's called Peace is Every Step. Again, that's the book, but the poem is this. Peace is every step. The shining red sun is my heart. Each flower smiles with me. How green, how fresh all that grows. How cool the wind blows. Peace is every step. It turns the endless path to joy. And so I was thinking about that particular poem and the fact that we're midwinter and, this sense of new energy. But even with the new energy, it's kind of like, the covers are kind of coming off, but you still want to stay cozied up. But yet you kind of want to move around. That's what this midwinter energy is, or what have you. And sometimes there's a sense of agitation with that. And like I said before, we are 26 days into the new year. And for some of us, the new year has started out great. For others of us, it's been a little bit of a stretching moments. And it could be a combination of both. But we're going to make space for all of it. It's absolutely fine wherever you're at. But the idea is, how do you move in and through this? And so I guess my word to myself and to us collectively as a community is that it's step by step. It's step by step. There is no fixed script to walking and moving in through life. Everyone's circumstance is different, but what I do note for sure is that these practices of being present with self, of showing grace to self, of honoring self, and going within and tapping into our authentic self, what we know is true about ourselves, what we know is sacred about ourselves, and allowing that to nourish us, to guide us. It's there. And I believe that the teacher Thich, he actually talked about that in the sense of being present, in the sense of slowing down, even in the midst of, I say, just the spectrum of life. This idea of finding peace is every single step that we take. It's every single step that we take, every single time that we show up, and having a sense of solace in terms of that. It doesn't mean that the step is perfect. It doesn't even mean that the steps are linear. Sometimes we find ourselves with steps that we've gone here before or what have you. But peace is every step. Peace is absolutely every step. And so if there's anything that I can offer, again, to myself and to you, is that continue to show grace to yourself. Continue to allow for space to figure it out. We try to get answers right away. Sometimes it's not meant for us to have the answers right at that particular time. But what we can do is, again, be present with ourselves. And I believe that that's what Thich Hanh was really living out in terms of his life. One of the things that I love about what he said is that, I can teach, but it's really about the living portion of it, the being, not necessarily doing, but actually being. And we're learning to do that with each and every day. But what I just want you to know is that particularly now, midwinter, continue to go slow. Continue to go slow. There's no rush at all. Allow yourself space and grace, as I always say. Make sure that you're taking care of yourself. Make sure that you're making space for all of the things. And make sure, don't got to tell you twice, Diamond, yes. Space and grace, I always say that. Make sure that you're giving yourself space and grace. And as I stated before, there's peace in every step. There's peace in every step just by the mere fact that you're taking one step at a time. And whatever that step looks like for you, you're showing up. Sometimes it's a strong step. Sometimes it's a very tender step. Sometimes it's a circular step. It's not linear. Sometimes those steps require you to stand still until you know or are for sure in terms of what that next step is. But find peace in that. And as we said before, in terms of crossing the threshold into this year, to finding rest in terms of your awakening and knowing what true freedom and peace is for you, know that this is a continuation, right? This is about being present. And so with that, let's just take the time to get still wherever you're at, whether you be seated, whether you choose to be closer to the ground, whether you be in the bed, wherever you may be. Let's just allow ourselves time to simply gather ourselves on this evening. The sense of recalling back, this sense of collectively taking a breath together, because although we may not be able to see each other, we are together. There's the collective energy of us being together and holding space together. So again, I invite you to get as comfortable as possible. And whether your eyes be open or shut, the most important thing is that you feel safe. And so just take the time to just simply arrive. This may be the first time that you've been able to stop all day. And wherever you may be at, I just want you to take a breath. It doesn't have to be a deep inhale or exhale. You breathe how you need to. And if breath doesn't resonate with you, perhaps hone in on a sound or a sensation in your body, whatever anchors you, whatever provides a sense of comfort to you. It doesn't have to be the breath. But allow that to anchor you and allow yourself to arrive. And don't try to shape it. Don't try to give it any type of meaning. Just allow it to be. That breath, don't try to shape it. That sound, don't try to define it. That sensation, don't try to figure out why you're feeling it. Just allow it to be. Allow yourself to be present right here, right now. And in your natural breath, just check in. And as you're checking in, perhaps relax the shoulders a bit more if they're hunched. Relax the jaw, unclench. Maybe relax the cheeks and the nose, the eyes, the brow. And just notice. Just simply notice. And as you're noticing, I invite you to bring awareness to wherever you want. Perhaps it's your heart. You may want to check in with your heart. Perhaps it might be your gut, your intuition, checking in. Wherever you're led, to just check in. Perhaps it's a tender spot. and connect and commune. Have conversation. And if that conversation is one that is uncomfortable, we make space for that. We make space for it. And perhaps you may want to say that in your head, I'm making space for this. And in making space for these feelings, how I'm feeling, I'm also making space for compassion for myself, for grace for myself, for peace for myself. Peace in just the sheer acknowledgement and awareness. Continue to anchor down in your breath or that sound or that sensation. Allow it to ground you. And as you ground, feel yourself begin to soften, to gather. And we'll be here for the next 3 or 4 minutes just being together in collective community in silence. Allowing this sense of quietness, allowing this sense of stillness to nurture, to feed, to comfort, knowing that you're not alone, that again we are together collectively as a community just by the connection of our breath. Peace is every step. The shining red sun is my heart. Each flower smiles with me. How green, how fresh all that grows. How cool the wind blows. Peace is every step. It turns the endless path to joy. Notice that you are breathing. Notice perhaps the sounds or the sensation. And I'm extending an invitation to you, whether you want to or not is fine, whatever works for you, but taking a deep inhale in through the nose and then exhale out through the nose. Again, this is only an invitation, yours of the choosing. Deep inhale through the nose. Exhale out. And do that 2 more times if you're doing it. Deep inhale through the nose, exhale out through the nose, but add a hum to it. And do that 1 more time. Deep inhale through the nose, exhale out through the nose, but add a hum to it. Now feel and sense the softness. Perhaps feel and sense a bit more ease. And if that's not there, that's okay. Make space for whatever it is that you're feeling right now. Now I invite you to add a bit of movement wherever you may be. Perhaps rubbing the fingers together, moving the head side to side. And when you're ready, only when you're ready, we'll take our hands together, bringing them up, and we're just going to collectively rub our hands together, bringing some more. And when you're done, slowly release and place it wherever you feel like you need tending to. If it's the heart, if it's both the heart and the stomach, representing the gut area, the intuition, if it's the eyes, wherever you feel that you need tending to. And I want you to send love. Send that light there. Send that sense of tenderness. Send compassion. Send acceptance of knowing that you're enough. Perhaps send forgiveness for being too hard. Or yourself. And when you're ready, staying right there, go ahead and just gently tuck your chin, bowing. We bow in community. Gratitude for this beautiful community, this collective energy. Knowing that we need each other. Showing gratitude for yourself for showing up. Peace is every step. May grace, peace, and compassion be in you. May grace, peace, and compassion be all around you. Continue to be safe. Continue to be well. Continue to take care. Until we meet again, I bow. Thank y'all. So good to see. Hey, Hope. Hey, Diamond. Hey, Natalie. Hello. Hello, hello, hello. So good to see you. You all have a wonderful, wonderful evening. We will be doing this again. You're welcome. We'll be doing this again next Wednesday, same time. You're welcome. And we're going to start a series. I'm going to be starting a series. And I'm so glad. Oh, I'm so glad you caught it too. We'll be starting a February series. It'll be the loving kindness meditation, but it will have a little spin on it. And if you know me, this concept of sabano, and it all revolves around seeing, hearing, and valuing. And so we will be doing that for the month of February. So I'm excited. So, yeah. So if you have time, drop in 8:30 on Wednesday. And I look forward to being with the community on next Wednesday. But thank y'all so much for coming and for being here. And again, be safe, be well, and continue to take care. Bye now.